Here we are at season 2, episode 5 of Patroma Therapy. Relax, relax, relax. Relaxing is the opposite of being wound up, it's being wound down. So, how are you today on Monday?
Uh, I relax my shoulders, I relax my arms, I relax my hands, and I relax my chest, and now I relax my stomach and my thighs and calves, and I relax my mind. You see the point, right?
Yes, it's like you spot up, you focus on a place, and then you slowly relax.
Right. That's one of the technique they say is good to use, and you have to repeat it too. How are you?
Well, I'm here in Dallas. As you can see from the cover shot, there's a, a, a Texas-style architecture ranch house with some cactus, and I'm pretty good. To relax, I like to go on drives, road trips, drive out in the country, or just drive along the lake, or just go drive around and look at old houses. So I'm going to go on a little bit of a drive later, but I like to relax by driving, by listening to music, and having bourbon and coffee. So there's a lot of ways to relax.
Yeah, but it's still very hard. It's very hard to unwind these days. And I think the reason is because it takes up too much energy to actually block your thoughts, which keep you stressed.
Well, what's interesting is that you quite often people schedule their meditation, they schedule their yoga. You have to schedule time to relax, but we never schedule time to get wound up or get stressed out. Like, we're doing that naturally. We're very good at being wound up and stressed out, but I have noticed that I kind of like to keep a daily planner and like write things on it. And yeah, unless I focus on finding time to relax, it's easy to go hour after hour, day after day, just being wound up. So I wrote on my planner for today, drive by the lake.
That's
And I'm
nice.
also going to maybe stop by a little French bakery and get a chocolate-filled croissant.
Oh,
Because
sounds like a
I can
plan.
relax eating chocolate croissants.
Sounds like a plan. You said winding up. Do you remember we've made an episode a few days ago? Would wind down, would that be like the equivalent of relax? Educate me.
Yes, I think so. If you think about a clock that has to be wound or a watch that has to be wound manually, you wind it up to get tension and motion, and then it naturally winds down. But I think we have a hard time naturally winding down. I'm pretty sure in a lot of different cities and little small towns, they have happy hour, the transition between work and home. Like, you finally finished work, now you got to go home and deal with the family and all the stuff there. So you better stop by the bar and have a drink and try to unwind. So we have happy hours. Did they do happy hour in Moscow?
I'm sure they do. I'm sure they do happy hours. that's. I have to look it up. Yeah, I'm thinking of
No.
cannabis. Do you think that the cannabis is a great way to relax?
Oh, you mean weed?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. This is Patroma therapy,
Right.
and a lot of people have different ways to relax, all of which we're not going to discuss. But yeah, I think marijuana is legal in some states of the United States, in Colorado, in Oregon, out in California. And they always say that, like Rocky Mountain High, that song by John Denver,
Uh-huh.
he wasn't talking about getting high. He was talking about like how amazing it is to be in the Rocky Mountains. And California, California dreaming.
Oh yeah, that's one of my favorites.
How do you feel when you hear that song?
I feel great for no apparent reason. I don't know. How do you feel?
I think you mentioned that you you like that girl that was in the
The
song.
Michelle Phillips, I believe was her name. still is. I like her.
Right.
She's like gorgeously or ridiculously gorgeous, I think.
Well, that's like an image of the California girl, like the blonde hair, and she's wearing like a bikini or like some cute little outfit, and like you're walking on the beach or you're having a drink at the bar. I mean, when you're at the beach, or if it's not COVID time, if you're at the beach, it's great to relax. Or if you're at the mountains, it's great to relax. So I think being out in nature is another way to relax.
Absolutely, absolutely. Getting back to nature, like it's. I think this should be a new trend, especially in these lockdown situations, which will not be relaxed. I'm sure will not lock down. I mean, will not be relaxed for at least another month.
Well, I have a friend who just took a beautiful trip, flew into Colorado and got a car and drove around, to see, Yellowstone, and got the geyser and all the beautiful mountains. And some people are talking. I have a friend that lives around the Great Lakes, Mark, who's one of our subscribers. He was saying, maybe he was going to do a road trip before it gets to be too cold. But yeah, I think people are trying to like find ways to relax before it gets to be like super cold winter. And
right. And taking a walk in the woods. I mean, such a wonderful experience. Of course, if there is no chance like to be attacked by a bear that you may unwittingly disturb, right? Or whatever, wolves or get bit. I'm afraid of snakes. I'm afraid I'm gonna get bit by a snake one day. That's when I walk in the woods. I always think that when I'm in danger. I don't know if why did that come from.
Well, do you wear shoes that have like boots that are your ankles are protected?
Absolutely. Still,
okay, well, then you don't have...
there is. I don't know where did I get this, but yeah, I think the snake is about to beat me each time I go and take a walk in the woods. So
well,
it's not easy to relax.
What you fear might actually happen. I mean, part of therapy is facing your fears. So I think we're going to have to talk about your fear of snakes, but. Let me transition a minute to another famous American poet and author, Henry David Thoreau, who wrote Walden, about going to Walden Pond. And that's one of my favorite quotations that I've memorized. I decided that, if I ever go to prison or if I ever become blind, that I won't have to worry. I can just like review the quotes I've memorized. So I'm not planning on becoming blind, and I'm not planning on going to prison, but I've always thought that it's good to have memorized some poems and quotes.
Absolutely.
So Thoreau was living, in the 19th century, and he left, I think, Boston, and he went to the woods, Walden Pond, and he said, I went to the woods because I wished to live deliberately, to front only the essential facts of life, and see if I could not learn what it had to teach, and not when I came to die, discover that I had not lived. Boom.
I wonder all this wisdom. Why can't I figure out something as deep and as thoughtful as all these quotes, wonderful quotes I read, and all the poetry and poems and maybe I'm not good enough, or maybe I'm too stressed and I need relax before I do that.
Well, what you need is therapy. Like you need 24/7 therapy. Like you're okay during.
Oh, that's for sure.
We're okay during Petroma therapy, but once we hang up, we got a lot of stuff to do. We've got to fill the car with gas. We have to get groceries. We have to check in with our work. We have family. We have friends. Boom, the stress is there. But I think taking a little bit of time off. Maybe every day to go on a walk or
maybe
away for a weekend.
Hobbies like knitting, right? Where women used to knit a lot. My grandmother knit very well, and knitting offer rhythmic movement, of your fingers. It's like the hypnotic action, totally like meditation. I say it leads to meditative state. Knitting.
Well, I had these great grand aunts who were very they could do all kinds of amazing Italian things. So they could crochet and they could knit, and they always wanted me to knit, but I am not a knitter. Only thing I would do is just like make snakes, like long snake worms. But I like writing to relax. I like cooking. I love to cook. If I'm stressed out, I just go to the kitchen and create something amazing. I don't have to think. I'm not following a recipe. The kitchen smells great, but I do admire those knitters. I have some very nice things that were made by these ants, these Afghan. They're called Afghans. They're knitted, kind of like blankets or throws. What did your grandmother knit?
Some sweaters, socks, just everything. The point is, you have to have a hobby, the activity that's complex enough to hold your attention. And I think this maybe seem counterintuitive to relaxation, but you have to concentrate on some kind of simple task. And this may be cooking in your case, which is absolutely great.
Me, yeah, I can choose. And also, since I'm not following a recipe, I like it because there's freedom and I can explore and I create something. And then sometimes I take pictures and I've actually gotten paid a little bit to be a food
and you
photographer.
breathe deeply through diaphragm and like babies do. And that leads you to a relaxed state.
And also the smell of like olive oil and
That's
garlic
fantastic.
and
Absolutely.
rosemary.
I can smell smell just from listening how you describe it.
Yes. Well, I'm wondering. I mean, I think some people think that cooking is just for women and making things out of wood is for men, but knitting is just for women. I'm wondering, have you ever thought of knitting, picking up some knitting?
I think I'm about to. Yeah.
No, I mean, you like colors and art and texture, and get some thick knitting needles, not little skinny ones.
Yeah.
And like, if you don't want to make anything, I know you're kind of focused and you like to create, projects, but just why don't you just knit and make worms, like long worms, and that way you can deal with your snake anxiety.
Absolutely. I mean, if this lockdown stays with us for another 3, I'll turn pro. You'll see me in 3 months, like knitting like a pro.
Okay, well,
Right.
very good.
Do you want to wrap it up somehow on more wholesome note?
Yeah. Yes. Well, I realize that we're coming to the end of the episode, so I'd like to thank our subscribers and some of the new people that are on board, and enjoy the autumn season and cook, go on a walk, look out for snakes, and enjoy the season. Goodbye for now.
And stay woke. Always wanted to say that.
Stay woke. Okay.
Bye-bye.